everybody, today I'm going to look at some G.I. Joe file cards. These could be cut out of the backs of the packaging of standard G.I. Joe figures, although mail-away figures and some vehicle drivers had their own separate rectangular cards. These cards featured the character's main description, like occupation or role in the organization, a code name, personal information, a middle description, and often a quote on the bottom about the character from an outside source. G.I. Joe members also displayed their service number and grade. In early cards, the code name was smaller and put under the general description, but this was actually switched to newer cards. Typically, you can buy a card for $5 to $10 individually on eBay, or for about $2 to $3 a piece if you buy them in larger lots, although some cards can command more, especially mail-away versions of cards or cards for drivers of expensive or rare vehicles. For some G.I. Joe fans like myself, these were fun to collect and maybe even put in your mom's old recipe box. I got this stack of cards from a yard sale last year, and today I'm going to go through them in random order, pointing out what I find to be interesting tidbits from each card, but feel free to pause the video if you want to read them in their entirety. Let's start with the Awe-Striker driver Crankcase, who started building street racers at 13, racing them at 16, and who joined the service after getting bored working the stock car circuit. He's constantly irritated at how slow the world moves. Next, we have the Master of Disguise Zartan. His background is shrouded in mystery. He could change his skin color, is a master of disguises, and speaks over 20 languages. The original card mentioned that he is a paranoid schizophrenic. This was removed from the card after Hasbro received several complaints of its inclusion. Mainframe, the computer specialist, is next. He served in the military using the GI Bill to get a degree from MIT. After getting bored working in Silicon Valley, he returned to the service. I'll always remember him for sharing romantic feelings with Serana in the animated series. General Hawk is next. According to his card, he was the original G.I. Joe field commander before he became general and rose to the top of the entire organization. The Lovable Bazooka is next. He used to drive a tank, but when he realized that anybody with a $200 rocket launcher could take out $1 million tank, he transferred into his current role. Next, we have the standard Viper, the bottom of the Cobra pyramid. But they are outfitted very well with body armor, helmets that contain radio telecommunications, and a combination assault rifle grenade launcher with a night vision sight. Next is Leatherneck, who previously was the toughest drill sergeant on Paris Island, and before that the roughest tech sergeant in Vietnam, and before that the meanest corporal in Gitmo. Next is Snowjob, a former Olympic biathlon contender who joined the Joes. According to Rock and Roll, his code name has nothing to do with his ability in wintry conditions, but rather that he is a con artist, but still a good Joe. Next is Wetsuit, the Navy SEAL. Although mean and tough, he's also bright and very well read. Next is Flint. He's a Rhodes Scholar with a degree in English literature, but boredom with academics led him to enlist in the Army, where he excelled. Xandar is Zartan's brother, who, much like Zartan, is a master of camouflage. Teachers forgot he was in class, and he was never called upon. Those who met him can't remember what his voice sounds like. Next, we have the twins, Tomax and Zaymot, who are identical mirror images of one another, except for a scar on Zaymot's face. They were soldiers who became bankers that now use their skills for Cobra, attacking with legal papers and trapping others with financial loans. Next, we have the Motor Viper, who pilots the Cobra stuns. Motor Vipers are skilled and seem to be addicted to high-speed danger. Next, we have the skydiving Ripcord, who likes to drop like a rock for thousands of feet and open his chute at the very last possible moment. Next is Wild Weasel, the pilot of the Cobra Rattler. It is believed a mouth injury gave him sibilant speech patterns. His piloting skills are so good, even Wild Bill gives him some respect. Next is Iceberg, who not only likes cold weather combat, but isn't happy until the temperature dips below zero. Next, we have Missile Commander Hawk, who came with the mobile missile system, and we would later know as General Hawk. It wasn't until I researched this card that I learned that there was a Hawk figure before General Hawk. Next is the driver of the snowcat, Frostbite. Born in Alaska, he got bored working in 40 below temperatures, so he joined the Army for a challenge. Now we have the Televiper, which I believe was the second Cobra figure I ever got as a kid. They carry a radio pack full of features. Their helmets have built-in microphones and earphones and LED readouts. Next is Blowtorch. His fire fascination causes him to always sleep by a smoke detector, sit by exits in movie theaters, and live in buildings where he can safely jump out of windows. He also hates cigarette smoke. Next is Scrap Iron. I believe this was the first Cobra figure I got as a kid. I picked him because he came with a cool rocket launcher. According to his card, it's believed he designs weapons for Destro and also tests them. He hates any imperfections. Next is Quick Kick. Growing up, he embraced martial arts since he was too short for basketball. He also faced rejection from the Japanese and Korean cultures due to his mixed ancestry, with his mom being Korean and his father Japanese. He was a Hollywood stuntman when he was recruited. I believe Shipwreck was the second Joe I owned, the first being Spirit, which I don't have a card for him in this pile. A lifelong fan of the Navy, Shipwreck enlisted as soon as he could, and is known to be the quintessential sailor. Next is the Snow Serpent. They are the Arctic branch of the Cobra eels. Above and beyond typical eel training, they also get 6 months of cold weather training, including learning airborne operations and anti-tank procedures. They are the best of the best. Next we have Dial Tone. From the age of 10, he began building and operating various radio equipment. He views operating a radio in the field as his ultimate goal. Here is Destro, the man in charge of Mars, the largest manufacturer of state-of-the-art weaponry. Although often aligned with Cobra, business comes first, and he will switch sides if that is where the money is. His mask both hides his identity and is part of a family tradition. Next is the Havoc driver, Cross Country. His dad drove a bulldozer, his mom a grader, so he was born to drive something big that ran on diesel. He has an uncanny sense of direction and terrain. Next we have good old Dusty. This desert lover grew up in Vegas and was a refrigerator repairman when he enlisted to the Joes. Here's one of my favorites, Snake Eyes. He left the service to study martial arts with the same ninja family that produced Storm Shadow. He was living alone with his wolf Timber when the Joes recruited him. He is a black belt in 12 different fighting styles and is skilled with edged weapons. Lowlight is next. He used to be afraid of the dark and of animal noises until one hunting trip with his dad. He got lost, but when he was found 3 weeks later, he had a smile on his face and mastery of operating in the dark. Next we have the evil Dr. Mindbender. He used to be a kind orthodontist, but that all changed when he tried his brainwave simulation experiments on himself. Now he's all about using his brain-scrambling weapons on others. Next is Lifeline. He was a paramedic, but when he found out that EMS personnel could lose their pensions if they gave aid while off duty, he enlisted in the Army out of disgust. Let's talk about Footloose. He was a valedictorian, Eagle Scout, and track team captain who was working on a phys ed degree when he got weird, dropping out and moving away for a 3-year period. Somehow, while trying to find himself, he got enlightenment and joined the Army. Next, we have the Dreadnought Monkey Wrench. Born on Guy Fawkes Day, he built explosives during his youth, left his hometown at 16, and eventually joined up with the Dreadnoughts in Australia. Next is the Cobra Emperor Serpentor. Scientists serving under Destro and the Interrogator combined DNA of Napoleon, Caesar, Hannibal, and Attila the Hun to make a clone into Serpentor, a leader that could stand up to and take power from Cobra Commander. Next we have Alpine. Growing up in the mountains, he took up climbing in college, briefly served as an accountant before joining the Joes. Next we have Bats, Android Cobra Troopers. Cheap and easy to replace, they also struggle with changes in field conditions and will shoot at anything that moves, making them dangerous for other Cobra infantrymen to be around. Next is Beachhead. Extremely disciplined, Beachhead always demands the best and views anger as a waste of time and energy. Next is another one of my favorites, Roadblock. Roadblock dreamed of becoming a gourmet chef. He was convinced by a recruiter that the Army could train him for that, but when he found their culinary training lackluster, he transferred to the infantry, dealing with heavy weapons. Next is the Crimson Guard. The elite troopers need to hold a degree in law or accounting, in addition to being in top physical shape. They often go in deep undercover operations, even appearing to be just a friendly new neighbor. Next, we have Zarana, Zartan's sister. This assassin is also a master of disguise with a focus on method acting. She is known to throw tantrums, cut in lines, and never leaves a tip. Next, we have the Lampreys, who pilot the hydrofoils. The training is hard, only half survive, and you must be an eel for over a year to even begin that training. Finally, we have the Strato Viper, pilot of one of my favorite vehicles of all time, the Night Raven. Strato Vipers are the best of the best and highly paid, but they need to be an Air Viper with over 1,500 hours of flight time before being considered. And if accepted, they are operated on to make them more physically resilient to altitude changes. So there you go, over 40 file cards. What do you think? Do you have any favorite file cards from your collection or when you were a kid? Let me know in the comments below and I will see you next time.